Hello viewers and welcome to a new STM32 World video. In this video we are going to talk about USB HID again, and if you watch this video to the end you will actually learn to use USB HID to actually control a device and do something useful with that device. I have been instructed that I should tell people to please like and subscribe. A channel like this one, it can only grow if people actually interact with the videos. So the more you interact, like, subscribe, post comments, the better the channel will do, and that is what this is all about. Now, where are we here? Okay, I need to make myself smaller. I just forgot that twice. I started this video, recording this video twice, and forgot this. So covered everything I was talking about. I'm still not very good at this. A while back, I did a video on USB HID, configuring it and actually receiving data from the host to the device. In that video, I didn't do the other way around. I didn't do from the device to the host, mostly because I, at the time, had not made that work and couldn't actually figure it out. But this video has not been released yet, but I actually did make that work and made another video which will be posted early next week. I'm recording this on a Thursday. It will probably be released next week, I think, published next week. Now, I have often been told that I should actually use these videos to create something, and a while back I had done a lot of audio processing output and SD cards, and I decided to combine that into a music player. I'll link it in the description down below. But it actually didn't perform all that well. Maybe it was a crap video, I don't know, but I'm going to give this another attempt. So what I was thinking was, a while back, a very long time ago actually, I did this video on these RGB programmable LEDs called Neopixels, or they are called WS2812, and in that video I used a can we make that? In that video I used a 8x8 64 LED boards I had lying around. These are dirt cheap from AliExpress, and you can actually daisy chain more than one of them, so you could have as many as you have power to run. They are a little bit power hungry, these boards, if you want, but I'm actually powering this from the microcontroller board itself. Today I am going to use USB HID to control the pixels on this board. So stay with this video to the end, and if you get bored about a part of it, I don't script these, so it can sometimes be, there can be boring parts where I babble on about something. Just jump to the next chapter. I do chapters down below, so it should be fairly easy to find where you want to go. Now, in this video, what I have done is I have taken the project these are all in the public GitHub repository, so you can go check it there. So I had an STM32 World USB Custom HID. I have cloned that project. How to clone the project is described in another video you can go and watch. And I have created a new project called STM32 World USB HID LED. Now, the setup of this is exactly the same as, I don't know why that happens, is exactly the same as the last video on the HID, with the only exception is I have added this timer channel, which is used to drive the LEDs. Go back and watch the WS WS2812 video if you want to know how that works. I have not made any changes. Now, just to show you, I have, let me go there. I have this 8x8 LED board hooked up to one of my standard STM32 world boards, and that is all there is to that. There we go. So, looking at the source code, the only changes really in this source code is that I'm adding the WS2812 library there. Otherwise, it's identical to the HID one. And down in the main, I initialize this LED array and I set all the LEDs to off. And that is it. This WS2812 library run by itself using DMA, and so nothing needs to be up. Now, that's not entirely true. I have also created these callbacks that update the buffer in this one. So that is also part of the main loop. But otherwise, other than that, it is identical. Now, if you remember in the last video on the USB HID, when you're sending data from the host to the device, you can set the buffer size. How many bytes do you want to transfer? In the last video, I have I transferred a whole 64 byte, which is the highest you can actually transfer from a host to the device, and it is all handled up in this custom HID out event. Now, out in from USB HID perspective, it is always from the host perspective. So this is data out of the host going into the device, and so in this device is actually a data coming in, but that is called an out event, and we simply get that out event and we get the buffer. Now, I said I made no changes. That was a bit of a lie, because I have actually down here in the USB device, I have now set that out to 6 bytes. So I sent 6 bytes from the host to the device, and that is received up here as a pointer to a buffer, and that buffer will be 6 byte, a 6 byte array of that buffer. Now, then it's simply a matter in this callback to pass this buffer, and the first byte we use as a command byte, and if we are sending a 1, that means we want to set one of the LEDs to a certain value. I have also, for fun, added one. If you send 10, it will switch all the LEDs off. Now, that is the first byte in that array. Now, then I use 2 bytes, 16 bits to say which LED are we going to address. In this case, I only have 64 LEDs, but it could be, you could easily have like 1,000 LEDs on one of these chains. So I wanted to be able to go above 255. So I use 2 bytes for that, and the next 3 bytes will be the RGB values of that LED that was addressed up here. So in other words, the 6 byte, the first byte is the command. 1 will set a LED, 10 will clear the LED, and then you have a integer, a 16-bit integer that is the number of the LED you want to address, and then the 3 bytes, so 6 byte in all we are going to receive. Hence, the buffer is set to 6 byte down here. And then we simply run setLED values, which is a command from the WS2812 library that set that individual LED. Now let's try to build this. And it builds. Let's try to run it. And let's look at the serial output, which I have there. So it is starting that HID LED control. Now, let's look at one other thing. We can do I can run dmask follow. Let's try to reset it. I'll do it one more time. There, so it comes up as an HID device, and it identifies itself with a serial number and LEDCtl, I called it in the USB descriptor. So far, so good. Now let's try to send some data to this, and I need to show probably this. I hope you can see the LED board. Let's see how it might be. It's really hard to film LEDs. I never succeeded in doing that very well, but we will use the HID API tester. We will identify it with the serial number, we will open it, we'll send 6 bytes, and we'll send output here. We can start by sending 1 to set the LED. We will identify a LED number 27, and we will set that to, I don't know why so 0050, that should be RGB, that should be blue, should be on. So when I run this, LED number 27 should switch on, and let me start by doing it this way. Sorry, I ran into a small problem there. So I was stupid because I sent 1 byte too little, 2700. So these two identify the LED, and this is so RGB. This should set the LED number 27 to blue. Let's try. And you could see something. Let's do this. Let's try to run 10 there, which will switch it off. And now let's try to show the device bigger. Hopefully you can see what is going on here. There, the LED comes on blue. In the background you can't see this. I will set it to red instead. That is the first value. So let's try to switch this LED red. There, it switched red. So as you can see, it is now possible to control these LEDs. It is possible from a simple command line, HID API tester, but this would also work from Python or Node or whatever. All these libraries have HID, and you can actually control this directly from a browser. A browser can access, there's an HID API in the browser. So, and let's just say, so we could try to set number 63, which is the lower right hand LED. And there we go, and we can try to set the first LED, which would be LED 0. There we go. And again, let's try to switch them all off, and we do that simply by sending the command 10 with whatever. After it, it doesn't really, now we can try to remove them. So basically send the command 10, and all will be off. So, and I mean, this is running 12 megabit, so it is quite quick. It doesn't take long to send 6 bytes over a 12 megabit line. So yeah, that was it, and that is actually all I planned to say today. It's just a way of combining 2 projects that had all been documented in earlier videos, so go back and watch them. I'm not going to talk through all the details, but taking 2 different projects and then just combining them into a functional thing. So now we actually have a LED controller which can be controlled over USB. So you could have 10 of these LED controllers controlling thousands of LEDs. And since I am addressing these controllers by serial number, you could address them all on the same USB port, and each LED controller could also control more than one of these chains, so you could have two different commands, 1 and 2, for two different strings, and control them individually. The possibilities are endless, so go ahead and play with this. I just had an interesting comment on a video not long ago. Somebody, oh, I don't understand this video and I need help. I'm sorry, I don't have time for individual support, but the whole point of these videos is to encourage you to play with things. And if I can get that message across, then I did my job, I think. The only way to learn this is getting your hands dirty. You can't read a book or watch a YouTube video or ask AI. It will not teach you how to do these things. Only experimenting and experiencing the frustration when it doesn't work and the elation when you then finally work out why it didn't work and making it work. So that's all. Again, please like and subscribe down below, and as usual, have a wonderful rest of the day.